While Johnny Van Zant stepped into his late brother's spotlight to keep Lynyrd Skynyrd alive, his own children have faced devastating loss and medical crises that would challenge any family. From a daughter who died fighting cancer at 35 to another battling a potentially life-threatening brain mass, the Van Zant family's private struggles have mirrored the band's public tragedies. Here's what really happened to Johnny Van Zant's 4 daughters. Lindsay Vanzant. Lindsay Michelle Vanzant. The eldest daughter of Lynyrd Skynyrd frontman Johnny Van Zant, passed away on January 29, 2018, at the age of 35, after courageously battling a rare form of cancer for more than a year. Her death marked not just a personal tragedy for the Van Zant family, but the beginning of an extraordinary legacy that would transform how an entire community approaches kindness and compassion. Born on September 12, 1982, in Jacksonville, Florida, Lindsay grew up in the shadow of her father's rock and roll fame, but carved out her own distinct path from an early age. According to her obituary, she was not expected to survive a serious childhood ailment, but she overcame it without any lasting effects, displaying the stubborn determination that would define her entire life. Lindsay graduated from Fletcher High School and later attended the University of North Florida, where she developed the skills that would serve her in her chosen careers. Rather than following the expected path of trading on her family name, Lindsay deliberately chose to forge her own way in the world. She worked for several years as a veterinary technician, where her caring nature extended beyond the family and friends who knew her to the countless animals she helped heal and comfort. Her colleagues remembered how she treated every dog and cat as if they were her own, bringing the same level of dedication and love to her work that she showed in her personal relationships. Lindsay eventually started her own wedding planning company, which became the perfect showcase for her creative abilities and attention to detail. Those who knew her well weren't surprised by this choice, as they had witnessed her creative side throughout her life, often expressed through her sharp wit and sarcasm that she deployed with love, usually at the expense of those closest to her. Her business allowed her to channel her artistic vision into creating perfect moments for couples beginning their lives together. In her personal life, Lindsay found the love she had always been searching for when she met Brandon Poyencott. After years of being characteristically picky about relationships, she knew she had found her perfect partner. The couple married and spent more than 3 years together before her cancer diagnosis changed everything. During her battle with the disease, Brandon remained devoted to her care, supporting her through every treatment and setback. When Lindsay realized that her time was running short, she made a decision that would define her lasting impact on Jacksonville and beyond. Rather than asking people to mourn her passing, she made a final request that those who loved her should continue spreading love by performing acts of kindness for others in her memory. This simple but profound wish would become the foundation for what grew into a community-wide movement. Following her death, Lindsay's husband, Brandon Poyencott, and her sister, Kristen Vanzant, began actively promoting what became known as the Pay It Forward campaign. Brandon explained that Lindsay's vision was rooted in her understanding that you never know what battles people are fighting in their daily lives. The family began distributing special cards at local Jacksonville businesses, including Sun Deli and Sunrise Surf Shop, that remind people of Lindsay's generous spirit and encourage random acts of kindness throughout the community. The movement has continued to grow years after Lindsay's death, with local media regularly covering the ongoing impact of her final wish. Her memory lives on, not through traditional memorials, but through countless small acts of compassion, performed by strangers who were touched by her story and inspired to make someone else's day a little brighter. Kristen Vanzant. Kristen Vanzant has chosen a path of quiet strength and privacy, deliberately staying out of the public spotlight despite being the daughter of one of Southern rock's most recognizable voices. As the mother of 2 young sons, Riot and Cannon, she has focused her energy on raising her children while serving as the steady, grounding force that holds the Van Zant family together through their most difficult moments. Unlike many children of famous musicians who either embrace the spotlight or rebel against it in dramatic fashion, Kristen has found a middle ground that allows her to maintain her privacy while still supporting her family when they need her most. This approach has made her largely invisible to the media and fans who follow Lynyrd Skynyrd, but those close to the family recognize her as the person they turn to during times of crisis. When her sister Lindsay was diagnosed with cancer and began her year-long battle with the disease, Kristen quietly stepped into a support role that extended far beyond what most siblings might provide. She was present during Lindsay's treatment, offering practical help and emotional support without seeking any recognition for her efforts. After Lindsay's death in January 2018, Kristen became one of the primary voices promoting her sister's final wish for acts of kindness rather than mourning. Working alongside Lindsay's husband, Brandon Poincott, Kristen helped transform her sister's dying request into a community-wide movement that continues to impact Jacksonville years later. She actively promoted what became known as the Pay It Forward campaign, speaking to local media about simple ways people could honor Lindsay's memory. In interviews with news outlets, Kristen suggested that people could make a difference in many ways, even if it is just a smile or by purchasing someone a coffee, demonstrating her understanding that meaningful change often comes through small, everyday gestures. Her role as a mother has given Kristen a unique perspective within the Van Zant family, as she represents the next generation while dealing with the ongoing legacy of both fame and tragedy that surrounds the family name. Her sons, Riot and Cannon, who are Johnny Van Zant's grandsons, have been photographed at family events, including appearances at local venues like the Clay County Agriculture Fair, where they were seen enjoying exhibits dedicated to Southern rock history alongside their grandfather, grandmother Lisa, and aunts. These rare public appearances reveal a family that remains close despite the challenges they have faced. Photographs from such events show Kristen as a hands-on mother who maintains normal family relationships even while navigating the complexities of being part of a famous musical dynasty. The images capture moments of ordinary family life, with Kristen appearing relaxed and focused on her children, rather than the cameras or crowds that might be present. When tragedy struck the family again in September 2024, with her sister Taylor's medical emergency, Kristen once again stepped into her familiar role as a source of stability and support. While Johnny Van Zant left his touring schedule to be with Taylor during her brain surgery and recovery, family members like Kristen provided the behind-the-scenes support system that allowed him to focus entirely on his daughter's medical needs without worrying about other family responsibilities. Through all of these challenges, Kristen has maintained her commitment to privacy while proving herself to be the family member others can depend on when life becomes overwhelming, making her an essential but largely unseen pillar of strength for the Van Zant family. Harmony Van Zant. Harmony Van Zant has achieved something remarkably rare in today's world. She has successfully maintained complete privacy despite carrying one of the most recognizable names in Southern rock music. As Johnny Van Zant's third-born daughter, she has managed to live her life entirely outside the public eye, creating a level of anonymity that seems almost impossible for someone connected to a band as famous as Lynyrd Skynyrd. The extent of Harmony's privacy is so complete that virtually no information exists about her career choices, personal relationships, or life decisions beyond her basic identity as one of Johnny's 4 daughters. In an age where social media makes it nearly impossible for anyone connected to celebrity families to avoid public attention, Harmony has somehow managed to keep her personal life completely separate from her father's fame and the public interest that surrounds the Van Zant name. What makes Harmony's privacy even more remarkable is the context in which she has maintained it. Growing up as the daughter of Lynyrd Skynyrd's frontman meant being part of a family that regularly attracts media attention, fan interest, and public scrutiny. The Van Zant family name carries significant weight in Jacksonville, Florida, where they are considered local royalty due to their contributions to Southern rock music. Despite this environment, Harmony has found ways to live her life without becoming part of the public narrative that surrounds her family. The few glimpses of Harmony that exist come from rare family gatherings where she appears alongside other Vanzant family members. At events like the Clay County Agriculture Fair, where the family was photographed visiting exhibits dedicated to Southern rock history, Harmony can be seen participating in normal family activities while managing to avoid drawing individual attention to herself. These occasions show her as someone who maintains close family relationships without seeking any personal recognition or publicity. Even during the family's most challenging moments, Harmony has maintained her commitment to privacy while still being present for her loved ones. When her sister Lindsay was battling cancer and eventually passed away in 2018, Harmony was part of the family support system, but she did not participate in the public-facing aspects of promoting Lindsay's Pay It Forward memorial campaign. This pattern has continued through other family crises, including her sister Taylor's recent medical emergency, where Harmony has remained supportive within the family circle without becoming part of the public discussion about these events. Her ability to maintain such complete privacy suggests a deliberate and sustained effort to live life on her own terms, separate from the expectations and attention that typically come with being part of a famous family. Unlike some celebrity children who actively reject their family's fame in dramatic or public ways, Harmony appears to have simply chosen to exist parallel to it, neither embracing nor rejecting the Vanzant legacy, but instead creating her own space entirely apart from it. This approach has allowed Harmony to avoid the challenges that often face children of famous musicians, including unwanted media attention, pressure to follow in their parents' footsteps, or public scrutiny of their personal choices. By successfully maintaining her anonymity, she has created a life where her connection to Lynyrd Skynyrd and the Vanzant musical dynasty remains a private family matter rather than a defining public identity. Taylor Van Zant. Taylor Van Zant, the youngest daughter of Lynyrd Skynyrd frontman Johnny Van Zant, faced a sudden and frightening medical crisis in September 2024 when she began experiencing numbness on the right side of her body that led to the discovery of a mass on her brain. This emergency forced her father to make the difficult decision to leave the band's ongoing tour to be by her side during what became a series of medical procedures and treatments. The medical emergency began when Taylor noticed unusual numbness affecting her right side, a symptom concerning enough to send her to the emergency room for immediate evaluation. During her emergency room visit, medical staff ran scans to determine what was causing the alarming numbness, and the results revealed something far more serious than anyone in the family had anticipated. As Johnny Van Zant later explained in a video update to fans, the medical team discovered what he described as a mass on her brain, and some of it was bleeding. That was causing the numbing part. The discovery of the brain mass immediately required emergency surgery, creating a medical crisis that forced Lynyrd Skynyrd to cancel their scheduled concert in Anchorage, Alaska, on September 24, 2024. The band's official statement explained that their lead singer had learned that morning that his daughter needed emergency surgery, and they asked fans to keep Taylor in their prayers for a successful procedure and recovery. As Taylor's condition required ongoing medical attention and testing, the impact on Johnny Van Zant's professional commitments continued to grow. On September 25th, Lynyrd Skynyrd announced the cancellation of 4 additional concert dates, explaining that Johnny had left the tour entirely to remain with his daughter, while doctors continued their testing, diagnosis, and treatment process. The band's statement revealed that Taylor was dealing with what they described as a sudden emergency illness that required her father's full attention and presence. Despite the frightening nature of Taylor's diagnosis, Johnny Van Zant was able to share some hopeful news with fans and supporters in a video update posted on September 26th. Speaking directly to the camera, He explained that doctors believed the mass on Taylor's brain was not cancerous, which represented the best possible outcome given the circumstances. However, he also made it clear that Taylor still faced a long road ahead, as medical professionals worked to determine the best course of treatment and monitoring. In his emotional video message, Johnny emphasized that while the initial prognosis was encouraging, Taylor remained in need of ongoing prayers and support from the community that had rallied around his family during previous medical crises. He expressed gratitude for the prayers already offered and asked fans to continue keeping Taylor in their thoughts as she navigated the complex medical journey ahead of her. The timing of Taylor's medical emergency added another layer of challenge to an already difficult situation, as it occurred while Lynyrd Skynyrd was actively touring and had commitments to fans across multiple cities. Johnny's decision to immediately prioritize his daughter's health over professional obligations demonstrated the close family bonds that have helped the Vanzants weather previous tragedies and medical challenges throughout their lives.